Welcome back to Heartbook Radio, the only station brave enough to tackle the burning questions of the literary world. Like, is it really a meet cute if someone ends up covered in burger grease? We're here to find out.
And today we're diving headfirst into Toni Shiloh's The Nature of Love, which, judging by the title, promises either a lot of sweaty hiking or some very intense discussions about the migratory patterns of Canadian geese. I'm hoping for the former.
You're always hoping for the sweaty option, but this one's got layers, like a surprisingly complex onion. Or a really good burger. It's the grand finale of the Love in the Spotlight series, and apparently everyone's been waiting for Chris's story.
Ouch. Poor guy. Is he at least a silver fox? Because if we're talking about people in their 40s finding love, I need some visual incentive. The book summary says ruggedly handsome.
The reviewers are all over Chris. Apparently, he's the hero of heroes in his own quiet, steady way. And, quote, pretty hot for a guy in his 40s. Hashtag understatement indeed.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So what's the deal? He rescues kittens from trees while quoting scripture, because that's the vibe I'm getting from quiet, steady way.
Close. He's a wildlife conservationist and YouTube personality. So, more like rescuing endangered squirrels while probably still quoting scripture. His love interest, Dr. Erica Kennedy, is a surgeon. Talk about opposites attract.
A surgeon and a squirrel whisperer? This is either going to be adorable or end with someone getting rabies. I'm placing my bets now.
Well, the adorable part gets a bit complicated. Erica's life takes a sharp left turn. Sudden tragedy, unexpected guardianship of her two nieces. It's a lot.
Oh, damn. So we're not just talking about mismatched socks and quirky coffee orders here. This is heavy stuff.
Exactly. Reviewers are praising Shiloh's handling of grief, calling it real, authentic, and moving. Prepare for tears, people. Like ugly crying. The kind where you have to explain to your cat why you're sobbing into a romance novel.
Been there. But is it, good crying, or the kind where you throw the book across the room and swear off love forever?
Good crying. The kind that makes you appreciate your loved ones, and maybe even consider adopting a squirrel. Don't actually do that. There's a strong faith element, too. Erica goes from atheist to believer.
Whoa, that's a journey. So it's not just boy meets girl, boy saves squirrel, girl falls in love. It's more like boy meets girl, life throws them a curveball the size of a Buick, they navigate grief, faith, and sassy nieces.
You nailed it, especially the sassy niece part. Cheyenne, the 5-year-old, is apparently a scene stealer. One reviewer said, her sassiness was off the chain.
I love a sassy 5-year-old. They're like tiny, unfiltered truth tellers. Probably tells one broadcaster he needs a haircut, and the other that their shoes don't match their purse.
Probably. And the male friend group Tuck and Lamont from the previous books they're back, providing comic relief and, apparently, some spiritual hard truths.
Oh, I bet. The text threads between those three are probably gold. Like, dude, did you just use a Bible verse to justify eating the last donut? Maybe. God works in mysterious ways, bro.
Exactly. One reviewer specifically mentioned loving those text threads. And someone else pointed out the irony that Chris and they have been single for the same amount of time. Solidarity in singledom, I guess.
So, what are the downsides? Because no book is perfect, even if it has a hot squirrel-loving, scripture-quoting hero.
Minor complaints. Some pacing issues, a few people wanted the romance to kick in earlier. One person thought the ending was a bit convenient. And one brave soul dared to call it insta-lovey.
Insta-love? In a Christian romance? Scandalous. I mean, I'm not opposed to a whirlwind romance as long as it's believable. Like, if they bond over a shared trauma and a mutual love of, I don't know, taxidermy.
I don't think taxidermy is involved, but the shared trauma, definitely, and a mutual delicious burger obsession apparently. That's how they meet.
Okay, that's relatable. I'd fall in love with someone over a good burger, especially if they let me steal their fries.
So the verdict, is The Nature of Love worth a listen, a read, a sob fest?
Based on this, absolutely. It's got depth, humor, a hot hero, a sassy niece, and a storyline that's more complex than your average rom-com. Plus, it tackles grief and faith in a way that sounds genuinely moving. I'm in.
Me too. And for fans of the series, it's the perfect conclusion. One reviewer said being forced to choose between the three books would send them into a mental tizzy.
High praise indeed. Okay, listeners, you heard it here first. The Nature of Love by Toni Shiloh. Go forth and read, cry, and maybe appreciate the squirrels in your backyard a little more.
And if you happen to meet a ruggedly handsome wildlife conservationist, while doing so, tell him we sent you. We're always looking for new material.
Just don't get rabies. Seriously, that's not romantic.
Good advice. Until next time, happy reading.